Welcome back, everyone, to Iconic Seasons. Today, we're wrapping up our mini-series exploring the legacy of Indiana basketball beyond the 1976 undefeated season, focusing on dramatic moments leading up to the modern era and what it truly means to be a Hoosier. We'll look at how the program has maintained at least the feeling of excellence, even through periods of change. First, let's talk about the shot. It's more than just a basket. It's a symbol of Indiana basketball's dramatic flair. On March 31st, 1987, with just seconds left in the NCAA championship game, Keith Smart took a pass from Daryl Thomas and lofted a 16-foot jumper that secured the championship.
And I thought the game was over for me. And then finally getting back into the game, Coach asked me if I was ready to play. Syracuse had made a big run and got themselves back into the game. And I said, yes, I'm ready to play. He said, well, you have a couple minutes to go in and play. And if you haven't done anything in a couple minutes, I'm taking you out and I can't use you. So I figured being at home in Baton Rouge, right from Baton Rouge, with all family there, then I better do something to stay on the floor. And got in there and started playing, and things started to open up, and plays I started to make. And the strangest thing was that I was able to go back into the game, and I didn't see anyone in the arena. Strange as it may sound. Didn't see anyone on the floor. I was in the arena on the floor by myself playing. And I played as if I was outside playing somewhere. I had all the time in the world to make the right pass. All the time in the world to make the right shot, the right decision. It was like athletes talk about being in the zone. And you never get to that place again. But I guess that was it, because I felt like I was playing by myself. And didn't hear anything else again until the final shot, when I heard the explosion of noise. And that kind of brought me back to where I am, back to reality.
You work so hard to get to a point, and then you just don't want it to end. And I just remember it being so fast, it was hard to remember things. The first half seemed to go very quickly. Halftime was very quick. And then, even the combination of the game of how it ended with Keith hitting an incredible shot made it a very, very special ending, but it just seemed like it was all too quick. We were on the stage, and then we were gone. We were in the locker room, and we had to take off that uniform for the last time, and you just want nights like that to go on forever, and unfortunately they don't. But to be able to cap it off and to be standing on stage and be crowned champion was a great thrill. Well, I think we understood what we accomplished because we were at Indiana, and Indiana was about championships. So former players and the people that were associated with Indiana, we knew full well what it was like to put on that uniform and what it meant to wear that uniform, and we were all about winning championships. And I think winning a Big Ten championship and a national championship in the same year was our goal, and that was our drive. So we knew what was going on.
And now we're down to free throws, and never in a championship game under Bob Knight have things been this close. At the line is Derek Coleman going to the stripe. It's 73-72, Syracuse by 1, 28 seconds to go. It is a 1-1. Coleman has 8 points. He is 2 of 3 from the line tonight. And here it is. The shot is in the air. It is go good. The rebound comes off to Daryl Thomas. Indiana with a chance to win. They're down by 1. 24 seconds to go. Here is Keith Smart. Smart back out to Hillman. The clock down to 18. The Hoosiers look like they're going for the last shot. Now off to Smart. Alford trying to work himself free. Smart down low to Daryl Thomas. 8 seconds to go. Out to Smart. Baseline jump shot in the air. Gone! 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Hold on. Timeout by Boeheim. Boeheim has called timeout. Nobody called time. There's a second to go. Keith Smart hits the baseline jumper in Indiana with a chance to win. It's Derek Coleman who will inbound, and Greg Monroe is going to try and get the shot off, it looks like. Now they baseball it off the floor. Here's a jump shot. Keith Smart intercepts, and Indiana wins. The Hoosiers have won the national championship. Bob Knight being congratulated by his assistant coaches, his son Patrick out there, and there is pandemonium. There at the Superdome as Indiana's won it. Patrick Knight and his Dad now embracing out there. Patrick in tears. Coach Knight pretty close to it, I would say, at this point. We have pandemonium as Indiana has won the national title here. The Hoosiers have beaten Syracuse 74-73. The final, the Hoosiers have a fifth national championship match. What a night this is for the Hoosiers. And Indiana will celebrate this one for a long time to come.
This moment, forever etched in Hoosier folklore, embodies the heart-stopping excitement and never-say-die attitude that defines the program. The shot produced a smile and an adrenaline rush for any Hoosiers fan. The shot is one of the pinnacle moments in over 100 years of Indiana basketball. 4 Hoosier players that day did all the scoring in that game. Alford had 23, Smart had 21, Thomas had 20, and Garrett had 10. The 1987 team's journey to the championship was filled with challenges and memorable games. The team started the season strong, but suffered some losses on the road. They had a memorable game against Wisconsin that went to double overtime, which they eventually won. The Hoosiers also had 2 hyped matchups against Purdue, splitting the series. In the NCAA tournament, they faced tough opponents such as Auburn, Duke, and UNLV, showcasing their ability to overcome adversity.
Well, the thing that was amazing was that we weren't going to leave Bloomington until the day before the game, which is how we traveled all throughout the year. You know, we're back at home. We're looking at all the teams that are arriving in New Orleans, saying this is great. We had friends that had gone down there that were calling back saying, man, I saw this player from UNLV. I saw this player from Providence. I saw this player. We're hearing the coaches say this is a once-in-a-lifetime deal for these players. And here we were still back in Bloomington going to class and doing everything else. And Coach Knight showed us that you will have the rest of your life to go to Final Fours and have some fun. But we're going there for one thing and one thing only, to go there and win the championship.
Again, just another incredible thing that Coach did was that nobody had had any success running with UNLV. They were the running rebels, and they were leading the country in scoring at the time. Very, very explosive offensive team that ended up having, I think, 4 or 5 NBA guys on that team. Everybody anticipated Indiana running a motion offense that was going to make 5, 6, 7 passes and milk the clock and try to get in a slow-down game. And we did the exact opposite. Coach thought our best chance of winning the game was to run with them. And we did run with them, and we beat them in a high-scoring shootout.
Ultimately, the team's victory in the championship game against Syracuse cemented their place in history. I definitely want to highlight the contributions of players like Steve Alford, a 2-time All-American, Daryl Thomas, who developed his game over time, and Rick Calloway, who had a strong tournament. The 87 team's success showed how a talented group of players could come together and perform under pressure. Of course, I want to talk to you guys about this team and have you guys go back and look at the 1987 iconic seasons if you're really interested in more about this team. We've got so much archival audio and interviews to really tell the story of this amazing team. I think one of the most fun teams to follow simply because it didn't seem like they would make it. After the 87 team, we still had continued success through the 90s and early 2000s. And certainly I think there is lost opportunities. This is where luck comes in to sports at any time. So where we had luck before, I think we had, even going back to the 75 team where we had an injury that probably cost us a championship that year. Maybe even there's 2 undefeated seasons if you factor in the injury there. But we had an injury to Alan Henderson that really hurt the team and their chances that year. But we did see a lot of success as well. The early 90s saw that rise of players like Calbert Cheney, who was an absolute star and broke the all-time scoring record in Indiana and in the Big Ten, which is just incredible. In that time, too, talking about that 108-12 record, they posted a 105-27 record. They made the Sweet 16 3 times and the Final Four.
What I did at the end of that game and hitting the 3 3-pointers, I can remember where all the shots went in from, but I think the first one was an out-of-bounds play. I know the second one that I hit, I thought I got fouled on. I didn't see it go in. The guy hit me in the head and it knocked me down, and I didn't see it go in, but they had called a timeout as soon as it went in, or we had called a timeout as soon as it went in. You know, Eric Anderson picks me up, and he had been on the bench, and he picks me up over there, and I start walking towards the free throw line because I thought I got fouled. I didn't have a clue it went in. It was pure luck. I think that one banked in, actually.
Damon Bailey was another key player who lived up to the hype of being a Hoosier high school sensation. He was Big Ten Freshman of the Year, third-team All-American, and the 88-89 team was known for so much offense. Jay Edwards was an absolute killer. I mean, I would have loved to see that guy on a modern team shooting threes because he could absolutely fill it up. He had 3 amazing buzzer beaters in a row at one point in that season. The 92-93 team was ranked number 1 for 5 weeks and had strong inside-outside play, demonstrated that Hoosier dominance of those earlier teams. They won the NIT title that year and had a 23-2 record in the regular season. The team had a 23-2 record in the regular season. Allen Henderson had a ton of double-doubles and became a huge inside threat. He also left Indiana as the record setter for rebounds, blocks, and double-doubles. The late 90s and the early 2000s saw the emergence of players like A.J. Guyton and Kurt Haston, as well as Michael Lewis, who was IU's all-time assist leader. Tom Coverdale and Jared Jeffries also led a team to the Final Four in 2002. The last time I was at a Final Four in person was in 2002. It was a season that had so many dramatic moments, including an absolute all-time upset victory over Duke in the Sweet 16, maybe one of the biggest upsets in basketball history.
I don't remember seeing a second-half comeback like this one. And the numbers on the board remain the same. 15.3 seconds in regulation, 9 seconds remaining on the shot clock for Indiana, who leads in this game 72-70 after trailing at halftime, 42-29. They were on the verge, what seems like 1,000 times, from being blown out of Rupp Arena.
You know, they were down 17 at one point in the first half, 13 at the half. There were several possessions in the second half. Duke basketball, 14-point lead, chance to go 16.
Sure.
Couldn't convert, and then all of a sudden, Indiana just started owning the backboard. Here we go.
And now the Hoosiers have no longer the luxury of a timeout. They've got to get the ball in bounds, and they finally do to Coverdale. He almost threw it away. Picked off by A.J. Moy, stripped of the ball, and a foul is going to be called with 11 seconds to go in regulation, and Indiana will be on the free throw line. And Duke right now in a very, very tenuous situation. The defending NCAA champions, and A.J. Moy, a 79% free throw shooter, 6 for 7 from the line, up there to shoot 2. If he hits them both, Duke's in deep trouble. The first one is up. It's good.
He's now 7 for 9 in this ball game. That was not a foul Duke was giving. They were going for the steal.
Right. It's a three-point game with 11 seconds to go. Moy eyes the basket, puts it up, good again.
Duke needs a quick score and a timeout. They've got one left, 10 seconds.
4-point lead. Daniel Ewing throws up the three. He misses it. Rebound, Jason Williams. He's fouled.
Oh, my goodness.
He's fouled, and he hit the three.
Oh, my goodness. The only thing that can beat you at that point.
Jason Williams straight away hit the three, and simultaneous when he went up for the shot, he was fouled on the play.
He got the offensive rebound well inside the arc and backed it out, Marty. Got rid of it very quickly. Fife didn't want to foul him. Obviously, his momentum carried him into him.
Tom Coverdale.
But now, keep in mind, Jason Williams is not a hugely successful free throw shooter. But I'd bet on him making this.
4 seconds remaining in regulation. He puts up the free throw. He misses the free throw. Boozer rebounds, throws it up, no good. The ball is loose. The horn sounds. Indiana has pulled off the upset. The Hoosiers are mobbing one another at center court. The defending NCAA champion Duke Blue Devils have been upset in the regional semifinals in Lexington. And the Indiana fans are absolutely beside themselves.
The 2002 team had an incredible run all the way to the championship game, showing that the program could be resilient after a period of coaching changes. Sound familiar? But the modern era teams, they weren't undefeated. They still showcased the ability to adapt and compete at a high level. Even during periods of change and transition, the core of Indiana basketball remained. And that's what we need to keep as we move forward here. The tradition as a lifeblood, but looking to the future. A shared experience of fans, but also fans enjoying themselves. You need to understand that you're part of something bigger than yourself. That's the fun of sports. Candy striped pants are about everyone as a collective enjoying something. All the stuff that I looked through are filled with examples of how the program's history and legacy are honored and remembered. The banners hanging in the hall serve as a constant reminder of the glory. The emphasis on defense that we're often looking for is a hallmark of Bob Knight's team and remains a crucial part of the program. Former players come back, and I hope that this new crew of coaches embraces them and welcomes them back to Assembly Hall and connects to the current team, reinforces all of the legacy through all the coaches. The stories and traditions, like we're doing here, passed down from one generation of Hoosiers to the next, creating a sense of continuity and belonging. Even the producers of movies like Angelo Pizzo, who choose to watch their alma mater play in NCAA championships instead of attending the Oscars, showing the importance of the program. Being a Hoosier means embracing tradition, but it also means understanding the program's history, respecting values, and representing the state with pride. It's about the passion of the fans, the dedication of the players, and the pursuit of excellence on and off the court. There are numerous anecdotes of fans who demonstrate their passion for the team, regardless of the team's record or challenges. The program's been able to maintain its legacy of excellence through change by staying true to core values, teamwork, discipline. The program's always emphasized team unity and disciplined play. Players are expected to execute the coach's game plan flawlessly, put the team's goals ahead of individual ambitions, something that's going to be increasingly challenging in the new NIL era. And I think there's one more word, adaptability. When we talk through the 87 team or the 76 team, they were able to adapt to challenges. And the program's ability to adapt to this new era and the challenges is self-evident. It's necessary. The teams of the modern era have shown a desire to stay competitive, but not the commitment to excellence. It's the 76 team, the dramatic 87 championship team, and those last few modern era squads that we can look to, but also look at their values, look at the things that were consistent with them, and we need to project that into the modern era. Everything evolves. So what does the evolution of that look like? Bob Cousy to Victor Wembanyama are two universes apart, but there's a core to who they are as people that is consistent: competitiveness, desire to be a great teammate. That is a continuity through eras, something that we can find and hope that this new coach finds. From Bob Knight to Mike Davis and others, the program's coaches have always emphasized that discipline and teamwork. I guess I'm going to leave it on the Hoosier spirit. The passionate fans need to create an incredible environment, a shared experience alongside their traditions and values, and refoster that sense of community. That's not just about the wins and losses, but about the values of hard work, dedication, and that pursuit, enjoying the pursuit. IU basketball is more than a sport for so many, and we can make it feel like that again. It can be an honor and a glory.